You must be very warm, Bruce.
I'm
Are you
okay.
not feeling cold?
I'm immune to
Are you?
immune to English conditions.
I think I need to get immune like this.
genetically predisposed.
I'm already thinking, blimey, this is a bit too breezy today, I tell you. It's amazing. How is your
progression of my
2
study.
months been?
Sorry?
Yeah. How have your last month and a half been? Have they been okay?
Not too bad, not too bad.
How
thank
is
you. How are
your
you?
health? Yeah. Running around like headless chickens all the time.
Right.
Busy.
Busy.
Yeah. There's no time to stop. There absolutely isn't. It's either work in the morning right through to evening, then it's family commitments, then there will be discussions where you have to go, and it starts in the morning at 5 and
Right.
doesn't stop until 1 o'clock
But
in
you're
the
still
morning.
practicing as a lawyer? Or
Yeah,
you-
no. I don't know. I'm with a private college now.
private
Taking
college?
it easy.
Okay. So,
Yes, taking
so
it
just
easy.
Islamic.
No.
Religious studies,
No. It is a college that actually deals with academic subjects also.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm there more like a consultant rather
Right.
than full-time employee. Yeah.
You're a lecturer.
Well, that is coming. It's
Oh.
in the pipeline.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So
So more duties.
absolutely. But now I've learned how to say no.
Okay.
That was a difficulty I had before. I just could not say no.
Okay.
So, but now I've learned how to say no. So
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
say no, I mean no. But we get there. How have your studies been coming along?
My studies of the Quran.
Not only the Quran, everything.
Well, my studies of life in general have been rather mixed, to be honest. But,
Really?
Let's talk about the Quran first.
Yeah, of course. That's what we are here for.
Like, I've read about a third of it. I'm only
Oh,
about a third
excellent.
of the way through. I got
33%
rather
only?
distracted. But I
Ha.
tried many different ways to try and get on with the Quran.
Excellent.
I
Excellent.
tried listening to it with the
Transliteration?
incantation of the
Yes,
Quran at
the
the same time, tried to
transliteration,
get
yes.
poetry of it.
Yes.
I tried just straight reading, tried concentrated reading, tried taking breaks, tried reading it this way, tried reading it that way.
What was it you were trying to determine by doing all that?
Trying to get what's the message, the overall, the tone of it, the message. if you will.
Okay. Right. Okay.
The thing people say is they're the revelation, whatever.
Yes.
Trying to read it with an open mind as far as I could.
Yeah, of course.
I struggled and I struggled and I struggled.
What was the main issue that made you struggle?
I can't really say exactly, but it did just strike me as being everything in it read as a poem, read as an incantation, read as a recitation.
Right.
It didn't read as anything. I couldn't read into it anything mystical or from God or from. Which obviously was frustrating because that was what I was trying to be open.
Right.
Trying to suspend my disbelief.
I
is what was
understand.
to
Yeah.
say.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
From the way the angle that you were looking at it, you just said you couldn't find anything that could be considered to be an incantation or from the Creator. So what criteria were you using to determine that?
I'm really just trying to listen to the poetry of it, trying to listen to the resonance of it, trying to take it at its most non-logical, rational.
Yeah.
Just trying to read it as a work of inspiration.
Right. Okay.
Just trying to just let it hit me.
I see. Yeah. Hit me.
Trying to make.
Yeah.
trying
No
to-
rationale
trying to not-
behind it. Let it just hit you.
Trying not to work at it. Trying to receive it, as it were.
Right. Okay.
So that's what I was trying to do.
Right.
I tried and I tried.
And you've got
tried.
through to 33% yet.
So I've got to try through 33% in various different ways.
Right. Okay.
And what I found in the end was that I suppose the latest experience I've had with it, because obviously I'm still going to carry on after this reading the Quran, which I'm determined to finish.
Yes, absolutely. You have a fuller
But
picture of
what I
it.
had was an online discussion with a brother,
Right.
one of your brothers,
Okay.
who had all kinds of claims for things which the Quran was saying and proofs that it contained, numerical relationships, and what else was he claiming? That it had many forms of kinds of evidence and how clever it was. And I'm afraid I really lost my temper with him, and I'm afraid I was very angry.
Really? Why?
Because to me it's just so self-evidently not gymnast tricks. It's not there for us to play games with.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Nothing
a-
is. Nothing is.
No, it's the voice of God. It's the voice of God, and you shouldn't
it
be
is.
attributing it to God's not some circus performer to do tricks for us, so we believe. For
Yeah.
you either believe or you don't believe.
Okay. Why have you coming?
I did come across this many times with this, because if you heard of numerology in
Yes.
Bible studies,
Yes.
heard of this, that Christians
Yes, I have. Yes.
have. And there's the number of times that's been through and just discounted and disproved and just discredited completely by the mathematicians,
Yeah.
and that's just a non-subject anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid I do see these kinds of things being somewhat similarly path that people follow in some kinds of their claims for the Quran. You follow a somewhat similar path of confirmation bias and looking for the evidence when ignoring all the contrary
That is true.
evidence.
Yeah.
So that to me is why I just
Yeah.
I can't. That is why. But it's one of the many reasons why I
Yes.
have decided, I'm sorry to say, to remain for the moment as an
Absolutely.
atheist.
And I have no problem with that. I have no problem. You see, one of the reasons that I said, and
There are other reasons, deeper reasons we may get onto later.
yeah, no problem. But you know, like I always say to people, and I said the same to you. I said, look, I'm not going to say X, Y, and Z. That's why you should believe. I've never said that, and I never will.
Yeah.
For me, it is very simple. We all have different outlooks in life. We all experience different experiences.
Yeah.
And these experiences, whether we like it or not, somehow do affect the way we view things.
Yes.
Okay? Which is valid for every human being. Logically speaking, if I were to tell somebody, look, you should be one who submits to the Creator. What good is it going to do? If I tell a person, look, you know what, why don't you become a submitter? What good is it going to do? That's question one.
Well, okay.
Question two, I would ask myself is, okay, once the person has agreed with me, then what? Now, these are issues which are not just what you call a private company sort of issue, okay?
Yeah.
I am telling people about X because if I don't tell them about X, there's a possibility Y will occur, okay? So, when I am saying, look, I am not going to tell you what the virtues are of the Quran. I want you to read the Quran.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I said to you.
Okay.
I said to everybody else.
Yep.
But and you rightfully pointed out, at this moment in time, I haven't still got to the stage where anything has convinced me about the contents of the Quran, which can be determined to be something other than what was man-made.
Yes.
Correct. Yes. But to me, I said, yeah, well, you have still started, okay, and you have said that at least 33% you've got to, you've got another 66%.
Yes.
Logically speaking, obviously you are going to keep going, and I hope you do, so that when you finish it, then you are in a position to be able to say confidently, Shabir, I did what you said, but you know what, I don't agree.
Yeah.
Then I'll say, okay, let's see what you don't agree about. What is it that has led you to...
Yeah.
But for the moment, we can go on the 33%.
Yes.
as you said. You see, I would ask you this. The first verses of the Quran, they talk to you and they say, this is a book wherein there is no doubt.
Yeah.
It is a guidance. Now, what does guidance do? If I were to tell you, this is a guide to basic engineering,
Yeah.
what would that book contain?
A guide to basic engineering would contain the principles, it would contain the basic concepts, it would contain the basic practices.
But would I be able, as a novice, would I be able to use it as guidance towards advanced engineering?
No, because you need a tutor for that.
There you are. But if the book has been written for what purposes then?
Well, for reference and for private study and for all the exercises the tutor you go through in the meantime, yes.
Absolutely. But now you see, if there is a book, okay, you need a teacher. Logic dictates that, okay? According to you.
But if you're going to study, then logically, then there is usually a tutor associated
Right.
with it.
Now, if you are not going to study it, does that mean that the contents of the book are useless?
it does mean that you're not really studying engineering, you're not going through the book and going through a course of studying it.
But is the information in the book useless?
Information in the book is not useless, but it's useless
There you
to
are.
you as a student.
To a person
who's not
who,
studying.
exactly, if I am not interested in it, I'm not interested in it. But the value of the information within the covers of the book are no less diminished because
Correct.
I'm not interested,
Yeah,
okay?
correct.
Now, when the Quran talks about it being a book of guidance, yes, I have to think, what is it guiding me towards? Yes? Well, on a basic level, I think to myself, well, if I just look out and somebody comes running to me and says, please hide me, and I say, why? Because I've stolen something and the mob is after me. Now I've got to make a decision here as to whether I'm going to pass him on to the mob or I'm going to keep him, yes,
Right.
hidden. But what is the purpose? The choice I'm going to make is going to be entirely dependent on how I have viewed things, okay? If I suddenly realize that that mob is coming and they have got batons, sticks and all sorts, and I'm the kind of person who thinks, you know what, problems can be resolved. You don't necessarily need to resort to violence of any
Okay,
kind.
yes.
Yes, that's how I'm
Yeah,
thinking,
okay.
okay? And I'm thinking, well, it seems like these guys are intent on wanting to give this guy a lesson which he will not forget. But
Really?
to what extent, I don't know. I have to make a judgment call. But this judgment call is going to be based entirely only on my subjective experiences
Yes.
and nothing else.
Yep.
So I make a quick judgment and I say, okay, you know what, I'll hide this guy.
Okay.
Yes, because I can see. And they come to me saying, you, where is this guy? Where is this guy? I said, look, what are you talking about? I'm not entirely sure. I don't want to even say something where it will consider me to be a liar.
Yep.
Okay? So I'm telling them, and I tell them, look, I don't know what you are talking about, please, I'm busy. Yes?
Okay.
And off they went. Now I made a judgment call based on the information I had and also on observation.
Yes.
Yes? I thought, because of maybe previous experience, that these guys are out to
Yeah.
injure this guy. I then subsequently find out that he didn't only rob, he had also murdered somebody. Now that changes the whole thing for me, okay? From my
I
observation.
follow you, yes.
You follow it? Yes? Now, according to our societal standards,
Yep.
we have what is known as the rule of law,
Yes.
okay? If somebody has committed a crime,
Yes.
yes, and the guy made the admission that I stole, okay? Logically speaking, my duty now is to inform the relevant authorities
Yep.
of this guy and what he may have done.
Yes.
Because I don't know yet. Yes, I really don't know, okay?
Good.
But now my question arises, the rule of law, okay? Whether it is in the United Kingdom, through statute, through common law, whatever it may be, yes? I need to hand him over, okay? I inform them.
Yep.
But the process I'm undertaking is as a result of the guidance that has been handed down in terms of the rule of law.
Right. Okay.
Followed. Yes? There's nothing illogical about this.
Okay. So far it's all conventional. Yes.
No problem. The only difference here is this, that where the Quran says this, in it is guidance without doubt, we are disagreeing whether it is guidance or not. Because the guidance we are talking about is guidance that is not necessarily the subjective experiences of a particular individual,
Or country or.
country or whatever. Yes, it transcends that.
Okay. So this is a certain guidance.
But
Guidance
it
without
says
doubt.
without doubt, okay? But the question is, what kind of guidance is it providing? For example, I will ask you this.
Yeah.
In the
Provides
33
many kinds of guidance.
Yeah, in
Very
the,
directive guidance.
Absolutely.
Very detailed and specific guidance.
it is, isn't it? In some instances it's a principle. But if I were to ask you, okay, 33% you have read, you said.
Yeah.
Is there anything in that 33% which leads you to the conclusion, this doesn't make sense?
No, a lot of it does makes perfect sense. And there's a lot of very practical and wise things to say. Yeah.
There is. So much so, there is, in chapter 4, you might have got to it by now, surely, 33%, yes, you would have got to it. Yes, at the Harvard School of Law, okay, at the entrance, they have legal principles put.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
Yes, I said this one. Please do say it again because it's good.
Yes, they put legal, and there is a legal principle that is directly taken from the Quran
Yeah.
about how to be just.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, whoever may have written it, yes, if we for 1 second assume it is not from a creator,
Yeah.
okay, whoever had written this, well, the only candidate can be the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, or there may be others.
More than ever,
There may be others.
Yeah.
But whoever wrote it down had got it so accurate that today,
Yes.
at least 1400 odd years later, yes, we are coming to a situation where we are
Yes.
talking about something that has come up, which has been put
Yeah.
at a prestigious
Okay.
school of law.
Yes.
To what extent? Yes. Why was it put there? You think about it, okay, fair enough, they have put something there.
Yes.
Yeah? The question is, what was said in it that determined whoever was making the decision
Yes.
to allow it to be put there? Okay?
Right.
But the question is not that important. It is the principle that was enunciated in it. Yeah? Now, as you said, there are many things, good things, wise things. But the question is, what is it in this 33% that you have so far got through? What is it that has determined for you that it can't be from a creator? That's the important thing right now.
Right. Okay. There's nothing which determines that it cannot be from a creator, because I don't think there ever can be anything which can determine that it cannot be from a creator. It's not a testable assumption, which is,
Why is it not testable?
well, let me put this forward first of all.
Sure.
First of all, about the statement in the Quran which came in front of the Harvard Law School.
Yes.
I think there are other ways to explain it other than divine revelation. We'll come on to that
Yeah,
later.
we'll come to that later.
First thing I would say is that from any atheist point of view, it's me as a strong or passionate or
Strong and passionate, I think, are good enough.
what do they call it? A positive
Okay,
atheism.
good.
I say I believe there is no God,
Right, okay.
other than the you atheists and all the
Yeah,
blockers.
yes, these
people that don't
very
believe it.
irrational ones, I call them, yes.
So that's the difference between it's me or them. Same thing applies.
Yeah,
That there is no revelation, no miracle, no life of the prophets, no life of the faithful, nothing at all, which can ever prove that there is a God.
Okay.
Logically, because always logically, the conclusion of your argument will appear in the premise, because you need to have a God whose signature is a premature, his authorization from the Quran or a miracle or
Yeah.
anything else to say this comes from God
Yeah.
before you can actually consider it
yeah,
any further,
okay.
or whether there's any reason for you to consider it
Yes.
any further. And the full conclusion will always appear in the premise.
Okay, let's go the other way. Let me and you agree there is no creator.
Right?
But the concept now is already there for us to discuss, isn't it?
The concept is there, yes,
Why has the concept arisen?
because, well, I would say for many, many reasons.
Let's consider some
I-
logical, valid
I would
reasons.
say the concept has arisen largely because the problems that people have in facing the difficulties of life and death in their family and all the imponderables in the world, and for comfort and for emotional support, they created the concept of God, which was helpful to them.
It sounds quite reasonable, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But put this to yourself. If we are to accept information the way we have received it today in 2014,
Yeah.
we are told that there is an alternative explanation to life. Yes. There's one view that says that a creator created everything.
So I say yes, yes, yes.
There's another view that says, well, not necessarily. There is an alternative view of how life and its diversity has come about.
Yes, I know we've discussed this a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll dispute the alternative, but there is another similar. There's a natural science explanation. And there's a
Let's go with the natural science. Okay.
Yes,
My view, and it's a Quranic view. This, okay. but I did say for a second we'll leave the creator out of it,
Yeah.
so I will do that. Okay. Let's look at the natural science view.
Yeah.
According to natural science,
Yeah.
the capacity, the cranial capacity of Homo sapien grew over time,
Yes.
correct?
Correct.
According to our understanding right now, okay, we are at around 1600, 1700 cubic centimeters.
I'll
Yes.
take that. I'll take that quite happily. From
You can check it. Okay, but we started off around 600.
Well, we yes.
Yes,
Well,
according to understanding,
well,
according to cranial
for the
capacity.
sake of argument, I'll-
Yeah. Well, you can have a check of it. Yes. Now, the question I would ask is this: for the kind of reasoning that you have applied about, looking around, seeing, hazards, seeing upheavals, seeing people dying in front of, etc.,
Yes.
and feeling very fearful and uncertain, they were sat there and they suddenly came up with this idea. Why don't we think about somebody greater who can look after us properly?
That would be one way of putting it. Yes.
There is no other way of putting
Well,
it.
There's various different ways of
Tell
expressing
me.
the same thought, but that's one perfectly fair way of putting it. So,
Absolutely. But now the question I ask is this: the very notion and the concept of a creator
Yes.
is extremely complicated.
Yeah, I've heard it's called the concept with infinite degrees of freedom.
Let's say that. But it is extremely complicated.
Yes, as complicated as it possibly can
Okay.
be.
Now
To an infinite degree.
yes, I briefly discussed this with you and we've come right back to it.
Yeah.
What we are now conceiving of is this. According to all the information, sociological or otherwise, okay, when did this idea of a creator come into the human psyche or the Homo sapien psyche?
Well, according to the archaeological record,
Yes,
I think there are various degrees of religiosity. I think one of the first objects which are ever discovered are called Venuses. Have you ever heard of them?
yeah, go on.
Little models of
Sorry,
female human body. heavily
sorry, Bruce, I
pregnant.
just need to.
Up to,
Hello? Yes, Baba. Yes, it is. It is. What? I'll call you later. With whom? When? Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. Okay. Yes, okay. Okay, sir. Sorry about that, Bruce. I'm going to put this on silent now.
No problem.
Very naughty of me.
Sorry, carry on.
Call Saved by the Bell. Right.
So as I was saying,
According to archaeological, and you were
in
talking
terms
about,
of
yes.
religious beliefs and faiths and so forth, there are these little models of heavily
Yes.
pregnant people. There are cave paintings which may have
Yes.
some kind of religious significance.
Yes.
There are Neolithic burial sites and various other things. So it's not as if human beings all of a sudden said, "Let there be God." It was a process of growth.
Give me terms in terms of years.
Oh, that would be. I don't follow this as closely as you do, so. I'd say
Excuse
that-
me?
well,
What do you mean you don't follow it as
don't
closely as
follow-
I do?
I don't follow the proofs of religion as closely as you do, so I don't have all the facts at my fingertips. But say it's on
One
the-
second, Bruce. Are you suggesting to me that you are not in possession of all the necessary evidence which may logically allow you to come to the conclusion that there is a creator? Is that what you just said?
I'm saying that I don't follow.
Okay.
Don't follow.
Yes. I don't follow.
I don't follow these forms of discussions
Okay.
so carefully that I make it a point of my life to accumulate knowledge that pertains to them. So I can't remember exactly how long
I understand, of course,
the
of course.
human
Yeah,
civilization's been
that's
going.
fine. But here's,
Something along the lines of 10 to 50,000 years, I think.
let's say 10 to 50,000 years. That will bring us in within the cranial capacity of where we are looking around over 1,000 cubic centimeters. Yeah. Okay. The point here is this: that when you say, okay, there are some caves, for example, the oldest ones are in Australia, in a cave. Okay. Where yes, when you talk to the people there about these paintings, they will tell you about the story of how X was pregnant and then it gave birth to X child and
The
Y child.
explanation's mythological and
Yes, no, But here is the question, yes? They have got information
Yep.
which was either made up
Yes.
or somewhere along the line an event occurred on which it was based. Which one is more logical?
And just pass me again. So
No problem.
Based on
Either it was based on one's understanding, yes,
Yes.
and just made it up while they were having
Okay, like
having a bit of
like a story.
alcohol or something. Suddenly, hallucinations started or something.
Right.
Okay, or an event occurred on which the story began and additions were put on.
I see. You're asking me which is more probable.
Which
I
one
really
is more
can't tell.
logical?
I really can't tell.
Let's look at it this way. A drunk is passing by here,
Okay.
and he makes this statement which sounds very profound.
Yes.
We look at him because we have experience of what a drunk is,
Yes.
and we think the guy is drunk. How did he come out with that?
I've no problem with understanding how it happens.
But you know what? I don't know of any drunk on record who has come out with something profound. Have you?
Well, there are many drunks in Ireland who. There are
Give me-
many poets in Ireland who.
Actually,
thinking at it.
usually, yeah, you're right. Poets usually think that when they are drunk, they come out with more profound stuff.
Well, no, they don't always, but
I don't know of any drunk. You'll have to give me an example.
there are lucid people who have periods of lucidity and periods of madness.
True.
There are periods. There's a whole tradition of literature in Ireland, which is very closely connected with consumption
Yes.
of alcohol. I'm certainly not going to tell them that they don't know their literature. If you want to, you can
Not
do
at
that.
all, but you see the distinction I made was very clear. Where there is an event, as a result of which things were narrated, because in history it wasn't about usage of computer or Instagram or WhatsApp, it was all verbal,
Yes.
okay? It was tradition passed on,
Yeah.
yes? Well, if tradition was passed on, logically speaking, I'm thinking, okay, an event occurred as a result of which a story was built, and a story was built, and things came. But the question is this, yes? As I was just telling the brother who came with us, I was telling him of a story of a village up in the Nepalese mountains, okay? Where the elders, when they sat down to eat, they used to put a small stick on the side of their plate.
I see.
And tradition was that father passed on to son, son father passed on to son, etc. But then the village then became quite affluent. And when the elders started sitting down to eat, one of them thought, when we were all poor, we could only afford a small stick.
Ah,
But now we are wealthy, let's put a big stick next to the plate. So they did that. And they were merrily eating away and keeping the stick away. Then one day one guy decided to find out, wait a minute, why do we put this big stick here? And when they decided to investigate, they found that that little stick was actually a toothpick.
ah,
That's what it was being used for. But they looked at the situation, and guess what? They completely misunderstood it.
yeah.
And we are prone to misunderstandings like that as human beings.
We are. We're also prone to understandings.
And absolutely, I agree. But here is where I would suggest,
Yes.
or at least venture to suggest, that no matter which way I'm looking at life, yes, I'm always looking for certainty.
I would say no.
Please tell me why.
I'm looking for uncertainty.
From a point of certainty.
Yeah, in preference to certainty, it's part of the reason why I was going to come on to this later. But
We'll come to it, since we have.
the preference for atheism is partially for a preference for uncertainty.
Logically speaking, which one is a better position?
Logically, I would say that logic is not a superior form of argument. It's part of my fundamental, wholehearted disagreement with new atheism.
Bruce, it is called a cop-out. I'm going to ask you again, but I won't use logic.
No, it's okay.
No problem.
I would have to explain that to you for quite a while. If you want to ask me again, please do ask
I
me
will.
again.
I will ask you again. And I'm asking you again simply, okay? You said logic you don't want to use as an...
Logically, neither is superior.
But you just said you don't use logic as a yardstick.
I've said always I
Yes.
use passion as my yardstick.
Excellent.
My
Passion
faith
is subjective, isn't it though?
My faith is in faith.
Right, okay. I don't subscribe to the idea of faith.
No,
So
we said many times that you
I
don't,
have,
so
right, okay. But here is the point though. I know and you know,
Yep.
okay? Let's leave logic aside,
Yep.
let's leave reason aside,
Yep.
let's just purely base it on experience and see what your answer is.
Okay.
Okay? Me and you are walking across the road to go to McDonald's, that's the only
No,
one
we're
I
not gonna
can see.
go to McDonald's.
It's unhealthy. I can only see it there, okay? We are going to cross the road.
Yeah.
We look this way and we see cars coming really fast.
Yes.
And we walk onto the road.
Right.
The car is still coming fast.
Yes.
Would we walk onto the road?
We would not. I
Why
wouldn't.
not? Why not?
Well, because unless I'm a solipsist, I believe there's a car there. And I think
But
it's
you
gonna
are
run me
not.
over.
You are not certain that he may stop.
I'm not certain. No.
You're not certain, are you?
No.
But you are certain that if you step on the road, he's going to whack you.
I'm pretty certain, unless there's some kind of weird.
Certainty is what stopped you from
No.
taking the step.
Yes. No.
What did?
Uncertainty is what enabled me to learn that.
Excellent. And once you have learnt it, what do you do?
What you do is you expose it to further
You become
questioning
certain,
over
don't you?
time. You maintain your uncertainty.
But you are certain about not stepping onto the
I'm
road.
certain I'm not going to go.
There you are.
and-
So it is certainty we are always seeking.
No, I disagree.
Tell me why.
Well, again, this is going to because obviously I'm just a professional theologian.
No problem. Don't worry about it, Bruce.
These,
We are all
these
learning.
realizations which are coming to me are coming
Excellent,
to me
excellent,
in a very fresh
Yes.
form.
excellent.
So,
No worries, Bruce.
Getting
We are
raw,
excellent,
undigested.
excellent, good.
so what I decided was that I'll start from a slightly different point of that's
No
okay.
problem at all. Please do.
We discussed last time about science and why God wasn't a good thing to have in your mind while you're trying to do science.
Oh no, I said that if I look at that tree,
Tree, yes.
yes, I accept the existence of a creator.
Yep.
I'm looking at that tree, and now I want to find out how the creator created it.
Yep.
It isn't stopping me from
Absolutely.
finding out.
Absolutely.
That's where I was, and my
That's
position is still valid.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely correct, and I understand it completely. What I'm trying to go forward into saying
Okay. Yeah.
that it's not a good thing to have in your mind at the same time as you're trying to do science, because a thing of infinite complexity,
Yes.
a thing of infinite freedom,
Yes.
is going to distract you because you are not going to be able to follow the data completely freely if you have the conception that there are some things which are going to be godly and some things which are. Now it's started to rain, but to pause while I put my raincoat on.
Please do.
So I find that it rains to get wet.
No. We've got umbrellas. How about that? This is what you call. This is what you. Are you set? Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. How are you? How are you? Are you okay?
How's the family?
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, everyone fine. You
We
okay?
missed you, Akhi.
We are back, inshallah. We are back. Bruce, are you certain you're going to get wet?
Exactly. I'm not certain. It's exactly
Well, don't put your raincoat on. No problem at all. No problem at all, Bruce. Put it on.
No,
Yeah.
I'm going to.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't get wet.
Okay.
We've
So,
got umbrellas as well, so don't worry.
So the reason why this has a parallel in
Yes.
theology and in ethics.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to organise.
Raise it higher. That'll do.
Hey.
That's fine.
Wonderful.
You'll have a tough time.
Okay.
Good idea. That's even. Look,
Oh,
Bruce,
there you go.
there you are. See?
There you go.
Now we can fly together.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. You're
Fine,
going to
fine.
start with a different parallel.
Okay.
Let's see.
So going to start with a slightly different.
Yeah, sure. No problem at
point
all.
of view.
Make sure that's working.
Yeah, I'll just make sure that is working. In
Yeah.
fact. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, good.
Okay, that's good. Great.
You had stopped
So-
where we are talking.
so-
Yeah.
So it does have parallels in ethics and in theology. So I'll carry on going.
Yeah.
When you're a scientist, you have to go where the data leads you.
Yes.
You can't have a theory which is your favourite pet theory.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
Everything's got to be
Of
written
course.
around.
Is the
So for the
information.
same reason, it's a good thing to put put any thoughts of God, or ethics, or morality completely aside while you're trying to do science.
I'm asking, before you go any further, I will ask you only one question. Leaving everything aside is not an issue,
Yeah.
even for the person who submits his will to the Creator. Because you see,
Absolutely.
when
there's no
absolutely,
contradiction.
for example,
Completely
when I
yes.
look at the word science,
Yeah.
okay, in its original form, it merely means knowledge.
In
Okay.
one put-
Yes, it has taken
now
on
it's
a
in
different
natural
turn now.
science,
Yes,
so-
it has taken on a different turn in terms of information. But my view is simple. When I'm looking at that tree,
Yep.
okay, and I want to find out how it was made, okay,
Yeah.
I am not going to have anything hold me back
Yeah.
against finding out what the tree is. And one of the things I would say is that as a Muslim, okay, the Quran encourages the Muslims to go and seek the information,
Absolutely.
the knowledge, etc.
Absolutely. So it's very
So-
impressed by it. Yes.
Yeah, but now if it is telling you to do that,
Yeah.
okay, then you have been given free license
Yeah.
to allow yourself to follow where the facts lead you.
Good. I'm
So
very-
there
very
isn't
pleased-
a
very
so there
pleased.
isn't a problem there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I still say that for me it would be it's still a slight difficulty. But that's science, which I'm not particularly worried about.
That's fine. But what is the difficulty that you are having?
What I would say is that uncertainty is still a better form of position to take than certainty, because any form of certainty stops you learning.
Give me an example.
If I'm certain that if I were absolutely certain, beyond any question of shadow of a doubt,
Yes.
that the evolution of a frog was a certain particular way, I would stop looking into the evolution of a frog, because there wouldn't be any point. So for the same reason,
Can I just stop you there?
Yep.
You are confirming what I had said earlier on.
yes,
That for us to be certain about something,
Yeah.
we would need all the available evidence for us to make the determination.
yes,
So, according to what you just said, we still haven't arrived at all the information to determine with certainty that the evolution of the frog comes to an
absolutely.
end. Well,
That's good, because we can still keep on learning about evolution.
absolutely. But this is not what Islam says. So why the view that you are taking, like I said, you still haven't given me one example of where if I'm totally certain I stop learning.
I say
Because
you-
by definition, as a
Stop.
human being, it's impossible.
Stop.
Amazing, isn't it today? Yeah, sure.
I'm okay to carry on.
Yeah, we are fine. We are
Okay.
fine, absolutely.
My faith in faith is keeping me going.
That's excellent.
Okay, so so wonderful.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm saying, if we were absolutely certain about the evolution of the frog, then there would be no point in further study of it.
Agreed. But if, as you rightly point out, you are absolutely certain,
Yeah.
my stance has always been and is still, you can only be certain after you have looked at all the available evidence.
Yes.
But if you have looked at all the available evidence and you've come to the conclusion it is certain, and the next day somebody comes and say, well, actually no, that wasn't certain. Yes?
Yeah.
How do you view it?
Well, I'd reopen the books and say I wasn't certain after all.
Yeah, absolutely. But now here is, turn it around on its head and ask yourself this. Okay, if I was certain,
Yeah.
after I had established evidentially
Yeah.
the certainty, are you okay?
My bag, that's
Yeah. Put it nicely.
Sorry about this.
Yeah.
You practical, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. Carry on.
No worries at all. Yeah. If you are absolutely certain after all the available knowledge,
Yeah.
okay, what would be the problem with that? And you must bear in mind here that you still have not actually addressed the issue of me trying to find out everything about the tree,
Yeah.
yet still holding the acceptance of a creator.
Yeah. Because this is only a tentative argument.
Yeah, of course.
Because a belief, an absolute belief, which you say is not a faith, in a creator which is a certain thing,
Yeah.
okay, is one more level of certainty which takes away the uncertainty which I need in order to explore things and be completely open to learning.
Agreed. But now if I just take the example that I gave, yes, I agree with the reasoning you're applying here.
Yeah.
But I said to you, and I will just remind you, I said, you know what, I can be one who has accepted the existence of a creator.
Yes,
Now I'm looking at the tree and thinking,
yes,
how does the tree grow the way it does? Okay?
Yes.
And I undertake some kind of study
yes,
to establish
yes.
how the tree is, why the tree is the way it is.
Yep,
Okay?
how God did it. Yep.
Yeah, I'm doing that. How is my acceptance of a creator impinging on me?
It
That's
is-
what I want you to answer.
Yes. Well, we discussed, well, I've tried to explain it once, I've tried to explain it again.
Please do.
It leads on to a good thing, I think. From
Yeah,
but,
sure.
I'll try to explain it.
Excellent.
If you believe with absolute certainty in a creator, because you don't have you have a claim that there is a creator, believe it with certainty, it's not a faith, it's a fear of fact.
Yes,
Yeah.
based on evidence.
Based on evidence.
Yes.
Which we can go into later.
Yeah, sure.
But because you're basing it on evidence,
Yeah.
it's a closed book for you. So no other arguments. I can't say what evidence would you take you're wrong, Shabir, because
Yeah.
you know with certainty that you're right.
Can I just
Yep. Put it in.
actually, Bruce? No. If you hear me carefully, I did say based on evidence.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you are able to provide counter evidence,
Okay.
then it is my duty as a Muslim to consider that evidence.
Okay. So this is not what I would call certainty in a traditional
No,
form.
not at all. You see, I would suggest that the word that is being applied
Standing
here.
a puddle, can we just
I
move
know,
it?
we can move. Let's move.
You're not moving a puddle, so
I
it's
can,
unfair
I can,
disadvantage.
Assalamu alaikum, salam. I can see that very clearly. I'm thinking, you know what, we are going to drown here. No problem. Come a bit forward, Bruce. Yeah. So you see,
No, but when he starts taking favours,
no. Like I said, I would suggest if you look at the word certainty.
yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
How you have applied it since we started.
it's
Okay.
a feeling of certainty.
No. What we didn't do is define the word certainty.
Yeah,
Yes?
we explored it a little.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the way I look at it, you see, I am saying, and I have consistently said it with everybody I have discussed,
Good.
whenever we want to make a point,
Okay with that?
don't worry about it, Bruce. Yeah, whenever we want to decide on something,
Yeah.
I will always say, have you got the evidence for it?
Right.
My standpoint is very clear.
Yeah.
If I am discussing with someone, I'm discussing with you right now, Bruce,
Yeah.
and Bruce tells me, Shabir, I have got evidence which confirms there is no creator. I am actually told as a Muslim, I have to consider that evidence.
Okay. Good.
But isn't that going against the grain of what I'm supposed to be accepting?
Right.
It is, but there is no contradiction at all in Islam.
Okay.
As a Muslim, I am told, consider the evidence. Because you have got to 33% when you get a bit further in chapter 41 of verse 53, it clearly makes that what we are talking about, it actually says, we will show you,
Yeah.
it's talking to humanity,
Yeah.
we will show you
Yeah.
within yourselves
Yeah.
and on the horizon
Yeah. On the horizon. Yes.
that this is the truth.
Yeah.
Now, the Quran is making this what we would call truth claim.
Yes.
Yeah?
True statement, yes.
That's what it's making.
Yeah.
But I am saying to myself, okay, well, if that is the case, then it definitely doesn't stop us at all to consider any and all evidence, pro or against.
That's fine.
But the evidence, once produced, has to be assessed
Yes.
logically, rationally, reasonably. I don't find any problem with that. So if you have got evidence to counter the acceptance of a creator, we are more than willing to assess it.
I don't have any evidence. I never have claimed to have evidence.
No, of course, this is
But
just
I'm not
part
a
and
new
parcel of
atheist.
the Oh, you're not a new atheist. I like that. That's good. You're a traditional atheist, are you?
Traditional. I just say I believe there is no God. There's not a statement. There's not a claim. It's a personal position.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Understood.
so-
But now, as you can see, as a Muslim, absolutely no issue.
Yeah.
If you have got evidence that counters the evidence of any Muslim claimant,
Yeah.
then he or she is duty bound to consider the evidence that is in front. Because, strangely enough, as a Muslim,
Yeah.
okay, the Quran tells us consider
Yeah.
things,
Yes.
okay? When the Jews and the Christians, as an example,
Yeah.
they made a claim that they are the chosen ones,
Yes.
yes? The Quran instructs the people to say to them, say, Hatu burhanakum in kuntum sadiq. Produce your proof if you speak the truth. Now, my distinction is made here
Yeah.
that evidence is produced,
Yeah.
evidence is assessed,
Yeah.
and then you come to the conclusion it is proof.
Yes.
There's a slight distinction.
Yeah.
But everywhere you go, and the Quran is replete with statements asking the reader,
Yeah.
consider things.
Yes. Yes.
You can only do that by addressing things objectively. Certainly not subjectively. I can stand here with you, Bruce, and tell you, by the way, Bruce, did you know I'm the next son of God?
Yes. I
Oh,
understand.
well, I can make as many claims as I want.
Yes, I understand.
It doesn't necessarily make it true.
No.
Yes? Now, the Muslim is told to avoid things like that. He is
Yes.
actually told, look at things objectively. Yes? Islam is considered a system, okay?
I
A way
understand
of
what you mean
life.
by system, political,
All-encompassing.
all-encompassing
Yes. So
system of way of life for people. Yes.
absolutely. So if we look at, for example, constitutional law in the United Kingdom,
Yeah.
okay, the first thing that a lot of people will tell you, actually at college, is that we do not have a written constitution.
Well, we do.
We know part of it, but not to the extent, yeah, bits, yes, but not to the extent that you have like the Americans.
No.
They have a written constitution.
They certainly do.
Okay, they would have to go
How
through,
noisy, though.
absolutely, but they would have to go through a process through the Supreme Court to determine whether a change can take place.
Absolutely.
Yes. Now, the Muslim is told, you know what, there are certain things you have to consider. You can't just say, yes, that's it, even if the evidence is flying in your face. You can't do that. As a Muslim, you are supposed to be one who considers things very rationally, reasonably, logically, and most importantly, with a great deal of humanity.
Right.
But again, these are things that need to be defined.
Yes.
Because if they aren't defined, one will think knocking somebody over the head is being human about it. Okay?
It doesn't make many
So-
friends, you know.
I agree with you. Yeah?
Yeah.
So you can see that no matter which way we look at it, we have to first look at the definitions we are using, what we mean by these definitions, because somebody might think he is understanding what is being said, but in reality it doesn't happen that way. So I still don't find anything which is telling me that accepting the existence of a creator, at the same time being a scientist at the threshold of new information,
Yeah.
there is absolutely no contradiction.
There isn't.
Hooray!
I'm very glad for you to say
If
that.
this,
I'm perfectly
if
willing
this
to
is
accept
atheism,
that.
why do you have to film it?
Yeah.
I thought that was what religious people do.
What I'm trying to say is
Sure.
that
Religious
the,
people like to document
there's
everything,
no
don't they? Like
difficulty
lawyers.
whatsoever
That's right.
with anybody of any religion contributing to science.
Yeah,
And there's no difficulty of any kind, and everybody of every religion contributing to science. And the reason for that is that science is locked tight into nature.
yes,
Nature is,
yeah,
according to every religion I've ever spoken to, the work of God.
yes,
Therefore, any process which is scientific
yes,
has to be the best possible approach to those kinds of questions.
agreed.
And therefore, any kind of faith which is held, which is in tension with other kinds of faith,
Yes,
is going to be a distraction to the progress of science in general. And that's, I'm starting to argue in a slightly different way here.
yeah, don't worry.
And that is that, as I said, was a link between certainty
Yes,
in science and certainty in ethics and
Yes.
in theology.
yeah,
So I'm starting to argue theological
yes,
aspect of this. My uncertainty is a is an asset in that sense, because what I'm saying is that trying to think this through again, you're getting this raw.
Yeah, sure. Don't worry.
I'm saying is that uncertainty. Yes, that's right. Uncertainty is an asset in the progress of science, because when you accept uncertainty, you have no tension with any other religions or the atheisms which may be contributing to the progress of science. In other words, we're starting to think about what is a proper and good life for a scientist or a philosopher.
Yeah, okay.
Or for anybody engaged in any form of learning.
Yes.
Whether a bricklayer or a beauty therapist or a studier of trees or
yes, whatever.
Or a filmmaker,
whatever it may be. Yes.
Whatever anybody has to learn anything.
Yeah.
Uncertainty is a good asset.
Yeah.
Of saying that you don't know everything.
Agreed.
It's a way to get on with everybody.
Agreed.
I'll say to all the people who come here, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They can all agree with that.
How do you know?
There's no tension there.
Yeah. Okay.
Not tending to any knowledge.
I know what you mean. But you see, Bruce, like I said to you, I don't find any problem with what you are saying.
Yeah.
However, when you are considering words, okay, they take on a meaning when we are discussing them, when we are using them. Okay. So, for example, when I say to you, right, am I certain about how the Creator created the tree?
Yeah.
What would the answer be?
No.
Why not? Why not? Is it in any way impinging on me accepting the existence of a Creator?
No.
It isn't, is it? So when I'm looking at something, okay, and now we are taking on what is known as in a limited capacity, okay, I'm looking at the tree and I'm thinking, you know what, I want to find out everything about the tree.
That's absolutely right. And
yes, but
absolutely.
But I am
not in a community. Not in a community of people with different faiths who all have to discuss things without disagreeing about models.
Absolutely, and you know what, you have brought it right back to the initial point. When you are in a community of people who have diverse reasons, beliefs, whatever they may be thinking, okay, and everyone collectively needs to go in the same direction, do you require certainty for it?
When you say in the same direction?
For example, we are in this country, aren't we? Yes? We all want to follow the same rules.
Well, should we say?
We should.
Take the tree again.
We should. But we come back to the tree.
So you all want to study the tree?
Let's say, for example, okay? As an example, we all want to study the tree.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Why do we want to study the tree? To arrive at what?
I want to study the tree for many, many purposes.
But what will we arrive at?
I don't really understand your question.
Once we have studied everything there is to study about the tree, what will we arrive at about the tree?
Oh, I see. You want me to say certainty?
No, I don't want you to say it. It's just logical. It progresses to certainty.
Because we want to study.
Exactly. But again, whichever way you are looking at it, you are coming right back to what I am saying to you. That no matter what I want to... For example, right now, we are thinking about dark energy.
Okay, fine.
Yes?
Yeah.
Why do we call it dark energy?
I think it's because we don't know, we've never seen any.
Exactly. It's called dark because we can't see it. Yeah. Okay? But is it there?
Well, there's some indications that it's there by...
There's an indication. You are absolutely right. But that indication now has to be considered and addressed further.
Yes.
We want to try and arrive... We want to arrive at a certainty that there is dark energy. I know you don't want to use the word certainty, it's okay. I'll just say we want to arrive at a definitive conclusion that there is dark energy. So do I. So do I.
Yeah.
And I know no matter...
For me, for learning, uncertainty is a requirement.
I agree. I agree with you. Here we are. Trust me. I am saying, even if we don't use the word certainty, what we are always searching is for definitive knowledge.
I am saying I want non-definitive knowledge.
To what end?
Because I want to learn, because I want to go through life experiencing and learning.
I agree
with
you.
For example, in morality.
Yes.
Just to shake the tree.
No problem, no problem.
In terms of morality, if I want to determine what is good and what is bad in life, I need to have perfect freedom of choice. I have to have perfect free will.
What do you mean when you say perfect freedom of choice?
Perfect free will enables me to say, I did this,
Yeah.
I did this for a particular reason,
Okay.
and because of because of what I did, certain consequences are both on that, and I can therefore learn what is better and what is worse.
Okay.
So that is part of my reason.
No
for
problem.
wanting to be free, having free will.
Okay.
We need to have free will. You need to have a perfect choice, as I say, of different interpretations of where it happens.
Okay.
What happens?
Okay.
That's because, again, getting it's very raw, so I'm trying to think.
No worries at all. Yeah.
A particular,
Think as you go along.
particular explanation for free will.
Yeah.
Particular explanation for free will. That free will, it consists of people imposing afterwards explanations of their behaviour, which they performed before they understood the final position. So you do something first,
Okay.
and you look backwards, and you pose upon your actions a number of different questions, a number of different interpretations.
Yeah.
For example, you could say, I'm holding up this umbrella because it's raining.
Yes.
Or you could say, I'm holding up this umbrella because I chose to, because I noticed it was raining.
Or I can say I'm holding it up because it's too sunny.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's
Okay.
many different explanations as
Agreed.
you want. And one of those will be, I did it because I chose completely of my own free will, regardless of all conditions.
Okay.
And if you take that kind of model of free will as being a position of prior events from a posterior position,
Yeah.
you can then imply a model of altruism.
Okay.
I do things from a sense of altruism,
Yeah.
and that is the equivalent, I believe, of the minimum hypothesis model which you follow in science,
Okay.
which means that if you follow what is altruistic and moral, if you follow love,
Yes.
in other words, you have the least possible, with the greatest possible, you are only following one thing.
Yeah.
For example, if I put a gun to your head
Yes.
and I say, hold this umbrella up, and you say, and you have to make an account of that afterwards, if you have to do it from a selfish point of view,
Yes.
you'd have to say, well, there's this condition which I have to allow for, there's that condition I have to allow for,
Yes.
many conditions I have to allow for.
Yeah.
If you act out of pure altruism, pure love,
Yes.
you only have to allow for one, you're only being guided by one principle
Yes.
that allows you to learn at the maximum possible rate.
Yes. Okay.
And that for the same allegorical reasons as when you study science, you only follow the data, you only follow the truth. That leaves you only with one set of criteria to deal with, and that allows you to learn science at the maximum possible rate. If you follow altruism and morality in the same kind of fashion with free will, you give yourself the greatest degrees of freedom, in other
Yeah.
words, become as godlike as you possibly can be, and follow a principle of love. You only have one thing to guide you, and therefore you can learn morality as fast as possible.
Okay.
Did you understand that?
I do. But in conclusion, are you saying that if you have only one thing to follow, you are more likely to do a better job than following a multitude of things?
I'm not saying it's better, I'm saying it's faster.
It is faster. So when the suggestion is being made that the Quran is the source of guidance, you are having a problem.
I'm not saying I have a problem with the Quran.
Excellent.
What I'm saying is that what I find in the Quran
Yes.
is an inspiration,
Yeah.
but not an inspiration to Islam.
Okay. Brilliant. Let's take that position. According to
What I'm saying
Oh, sorry.
is basically what I'm saying it. What I'm saying
Yeah.
is that what I find
Thank you,
in the
brother.
Quran,
Yeah.
in fact, an inspiration to science.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that there's an inspiration to considering what a good life as a scientist might
Yeah.
be.
I think I might need it again. Sorry, Bruce.
okay.
It's suddenly coming. Yeah, inshallah. Yeah, I know it is just the tree. For a few more minutes. Thank you. Sorry about that, Bruce. Yes?
That
It's an inspiration you stopped at.
it's an inspiration. Yes, an
Yes.
inspiration to read science.
Yeah.
And I really think all Muslims are being encouraged in that direction.
Yes.
to regard this particular form of adherence to the work of God,
Yeah.
which encourages so many people of different
Yeah, yeah,
persons
yeah,
of
of
backgrounds
course.
to all come together. It
Yes.
all makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And it also
You see,
makes
but
sense-
if I take up, the issue of morality that you touched on, which is very valid, what I am looking at, yes, whenever you consider issues, you want to try and look at them in as a rounded way as is possible.
Yes.
So, for example, when I think about, what you said, you want the absolute position where you have the free will to do whatever you want without any hindrance at all.
You have to hindrance to talk other than the fact that you are following the impetus of love and altruism.
Yes, let's look at that, okay? Now, if I turn to you and say, okay, I agree with you in principle, but if I look at what you are saying on an objective basis, I'm going to have to consider many, many issues which will have to be addressed. For example, in the recent months, we've had quite a few celebrities who have been taken to court for what I consider to be offences
Yes.
against children of a
Yes,
sexual
understand.
nature.
Do you want to just pause and have a pill for a second?
Sure. Oh yes, of course.
Sure.
Please do, Bruce. Yeah. Do you need some water? Oh, we don't have any water, do we?
Some water.
Have you got some? Okay.
That's all.
No problem.
You carry on.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, so they have in the past few months. Are you okay? Get your medication first, Bruce. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
celebrities and yes.
they have been taken to court. Some of them have been found guilty.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the issue arises for me to consider here that what the masses agreed through the process that we are accustomed to in the United Kingdom led to the idea that this kind of offense will be considered to be criminal.
Yes.
If one of these defendants, okay, stated that they wanted the absolute freedom to indulge in activity of such a nature, then with hindsight determine whether it is a good action or not.
Yep.
Is that a valid position?
So want to complete freedom to try it.
Absolutely, which they did following your reasoning.
Yep.
And then with hindsight, they will make the determination whether it is a good act to partake in or not.
What I would say is that try to think this through, okay?
No problem,
Okay,
please do.
A second, just to. What I would say is that any hindrance upon their behaviour,
Sorry, say that again?
any hindrance on their latitude for judging what was correct behaviour would inhibit them from learning by application of the first principle of altruism or love.
Let's go with that, but you are still not answering the question I posed.
I'm trying to.
Okay, go ahead.
So, if, for example, if the Quran says don't do that, or it might be.
No. We are currently dealing with the law of the land.
Okay, let's.
But that's not the issue. The issue is...
Okay, if you want to do that,
Yeah.
fine.
No, the issue,
I'm
it's
trying
not
to
even
jump-
the
I'm
law of the
trying to
land.
jump ahead,
Oh, sorry, please do. Sorry, I do
so
apologize.
basically,
Yeah.
If the law of the land says it's wrong because it's been found to be vulnerable years, that was your previous argument, I think.
No. I said, for example, taking your idea forward, these guys who have been the defendants in the recent court cases, I'm suggesting to you, using your reasoning, that if they had the absolute freedom to go and perform these actions, and then with hindsight, in retrospect,
Yeah.
they then determine whether that action was good or not, okay?
Yeah.
Is that a valid position for them?
That they were some sort of moral explorers.
Whatever they may be, you must bear in mind that when you use the terminology that I picked on, you said absolute free.
Choice.
Absolutely, that's what you said.
Yeah.
Now, I am saying if we were to take that reasoning following, that reason and follow it through logically to its conclusion, we find based on the, as I said, objectivity, based on the recent cases, yes, I am asking on that basis, using your reasoning and your position, that if they were to indulge in such activity, then with hindsight,
Right.
try and make a determination about its legality, for want of a better word. With hindsight, they want to make that determination. Is that a valid position for them?
Struggling to see where you're going with it. But
I'm not. I just followed up what
no,
you
it's
said.
not. In law, it's not, because the law is already there.
You talk about morality. You made the distinction.
That's fine.
Now I am
That's what
saying, you have just said that legally in law, you are
But in
absolutely
morality-
right. You see, it has crossed over, hasn't it?
Yeah. In morality,
Yes.
if they want to make the defence that they were acting out of devotion and love and altruism,
Yes.
they would have a very difficult job,
Why?
because it's not a very nice thing to do. Things.
According to whose determination have you agreed?
No, according to altruism, because altruism is act to the other.
Okay, excellent. If you look at altruism, okay, according to that,
Yeah.
you were going to determine, thank you, their actions on that basis.
The value, the moral value
Okay.
otherwise of their actions.
So, when you crossed over into the legal element, yes,
Yeah.
ask yourself this question.
Yeah.
When the rules were developed to determine whether it is an offense or not,
Yeah.
morality, altruism, ethics,
Yeah.
were those taken into consideration?
I really can't tell because that's more or less.
Okay, let's look at excellent. Let's look at practical examples then.
Yeah.
And I've used this often with many friends. In this country, I am allowed to get divorced.
Yes.
In this country, my wife can divorce me.
Yes.
But there are 5 fundamental reasons which the courts have determined or deemed to be reasonable causes for
Okay,
divorce.
Yes.
One of them is adultery.
Yes.
Is adultery a legal crime or a moral crime?
It's a breach of contract in that particular sense.
Let's take it as a breach of contract. That's apt, that is, okay? But what has adultery got to do with it? If I found a lady, and I'm following your example here, I found a lady,
Yeah.
and for purely altruistic reasons I sleep with her.
Okay. Well,
Is it invalid?
it's invalid in morals.
No, from your perspective. I slept with her, and now
Is it wrong?
the wife has found out that's what I did. And she says, what did you do? I said, well, I felt very altruistic.
The wife would be very.
Forget about the wife. Is my position valid?
Is your position valid
Yes.
as a moralist, as a moral position?
No, forget the moral position. I'm feeling altruistic, and I know what it means. And with the lady, I sincerely felt very altruistic about it, and I indulged in that activity.
Okay.
The wife finds out. Is my position valid according to your understanding?
When you say valid in what sense? Is it logically valid? Because obviously it's logically valid.
You just said you don't want to use logic, but okay, let's go back to it.
I just don't understand what you mean by valid.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
Okay.
Your position was absolute free will to determine, what did you say?
To choose according to one single value of altruism.
And when I asked you on what basis, you said, look at it from an altruistic viewpoint.
Yeah.
I'm now saying, using your example, one of the reasons for divorce in this country is adultery.
Yes.
Yes? I'm using your reasoning and being very altruistic.
Yes.
And I did sincerely feel, now you see the position here is this, that when you use the word altruism
Yes.
or being altruistic,
Yeah.
for me it was purely subjective, okay? And you are going to have to take my word for it here.
Yes.
So, and so should the
Okay.
wife. But
Okay.
if I can just finish. So I sleep with this lady because I truly felt that way
Yes.
at that instance.
Yes.
The wife finds out.
Yes.
According to the courts of the law,
Yes.
yeah, or courts of law,
Yes.
they also will find that the ground for divorce on the basis of adultery
Yes.
is evidence to confirm that there was a third party involved,
Yes.
which there was.
Yes.
I felt altruistic. Can I use it as a defense?
In law, no.
Morally, can I use it as a defense?
Morally can use the defence once, but you should learn, because you're altruistic, that there are other people who are concerned, and therefore
Stop.
Sticking-
Did you just
sticking
say
to-
other people are concerned, Bruce?
Yes, the wife
Sorry
is
to
concerned.
interject. Yes? Did you say there are other people concerned?
yes,
Yes, well, I want you to extend that to the whole of humanity.
good,
Can we
Done.
do that?
done,
Can we do that?
yes.
Who is going to give us the guidance for that?
Well, I'm saying,
No, answer my question first. Who is going to give us the guidance for
I'm
that?
saying that the guidance
Go ahead.
is our own determination to cling dearly to our own free will as an explanation of what we do, and to altruism as the minimum
Agreed.
possible explanation for what we cling to.
I agree with what you are saying, but what you are saying basically will only work when you are in a small room on your own. Because as you rightly pointed out a few minutes ago, that when I do anything, I must also consider my wife.
Exactly.
Okay,
So first thing
now-
the very first lesson you've got
Agreed.
to learn is empathy.
Brilliant. But now it's not only the wife, there may be children involved.
Maybe.
So now I have to think about the children. Okay?
Bigger empathy.
Now not only that, there's my parents who I have to think about.
Fantastic.
Oh, I have to
Bigger
think about
empathy.
her parents.
Lovely.
Not
more
only her
empathy.
parents, her brothers, her sisters, my brothers, my
Fantastic.
sisters, my
They've
cousins.
got empathy for the whole universe.
Exactly.
Lovely.
But now the question is this, that for me, and I want you to consider this,
Yep.
for me to follow logically
Yep.
what you are saying to its conclusion,
Yep.
I come to one conclusion myself,
Yep.
that whatever is going to be that source of guidance,
Yep.
by definition and objectively speaking, cannot be the fickle mind of a human being. Why? Why? I'll tell you.
Yes, yes.
Why? Because when I am considering the altruism that you talked about, it is not thinking about the moral and the legal perspective. As soon as it crosses over, then you are going to need guidance for the moral perspective. As soon as it crosses over from the moral to the legal, you are going to need guidance from that perspective.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you've got the social element to deal with because of what society thinks.
So I need a whole system.
You need a whole system.
Yeah.
Now, the question therefore is this. You find the system in the United Kingdom, in fact, systems all over the world, yes, have their basis in what we call religion.
Yeah.
Question is why?
Historical.
Let's say historical. Go back to history,
Yeah.
and we are back to this alternative view, yes?
Yeah.
Go thousands and thousands and thousands of years back. Let's go to the Babylonian rules, yes? Go right back. Whatever you look at, yes, there's one determination that you can make. And whether we like it or not, the determination is going to lead us to certainty. I know you don't like the word, okay? But we require certainty so that we know where we are. Without certainty, as you rightly said, by definition, we don't know where we are. But when we don't know where we are, we will undertake the journey to find out where we are.
Yes, exactly. We'll learn.
We look for certainty.
We'll learn.
Now, we will learn. And let's say, and I agree with you that I don't want to stop learning. I agree entirely. Here is how I would do it. I'm looking at the tree.
Yeah.
How long has it taken for us to understand the basic tree with its rings and everything?
Yeah.
Hundreds of years.
Well, up until now, it's
Well,
still
I'm
going.
going to,
Yes.
I'm going to give you an example of alcohol.
Yes.
Yes? The Quran
Yeah.
talks about it in three
Yes.
places.
Yeah.
One place, it said they ask you concerning intoxicants.
Yeah.
tell humanity in them there is benefit and there is disbenefit.
Absolutely.
And the disbenefit outweighs the benefit.
Absolutely.
According to historical evidence,
Yes.
this statement is supposed to have been revealed to the Prophet Muhammad over 1,400 years ago.
Yep.
How much research has had to be undertaken for us to arrive at the determination that in alcohol there is some positivity, but its negative elements outweigh the positive? How long has it taken us?
Well, since then, so roughly now, yes.
Since then, now, let's give credit where credit is due. Whether Muhammad received it or he suddenly one day blurted it out, yes,
Yeah.
he made a statement which through experience and a lot of study, yes,
Yeah.
have we come to the same
That's
conclusion.
the same conclusion as the
Now,
happens, yes.
now the question therefore I have to ask myself is, when he made that statement, how did he know that there is benefit in it? Because after all, you have to look at alcohol at its constituent level to determine whether it has and it hasn't.
Right.
And this is just as an example I'm using.
Sure.
But the question is this, it goes a bit further than that.
Yeah.
And then it says, you know what, any intoxicant, stay completely away from it.
Yes.
Now, anybody who has got 2 ounces of, I shouldn't be
Common
offending
sense.
anybody, yes, 2 ounces of common sense
Yeah.
just needs to go to our city centers at 1 o'clock in the morning. And that's not only then, look at what happens when these people who are completely intoxicated get home and the damage they cause to the wives and the children and their girlfriends and whoever else. Now, we know that many people will say, but it's our tradition. I have no problem with that. But you've got to make the admission, it is one of the most destructive elements that society is facing today. If it's not only the objective evidence, even the damage it is causing within the body.
Yes.
Now tell me, when he made this statement, one can now make or draw a parallel between the statement and the havoc it is causing worldwide.
Yes.
In fact, so much so that, you know, a few days ago, a particular city in America
Yeah.
is so beset with
Yes.
heroin addiction,
Yes.
they don't know what to do.
Yes.
Now, there's a form of intoxication.
Yes.
Now, if 1,400 years ago this man suddenly makes a pronouncement,
Yes.
which 1,400 odd years later, through a lot of testing that
Yes,
you are
yes,
talking
yes.
about, you know, using
Yes.
scientific
Yes.
equipment, etc.,
Yes.
we are coming to the same determination.
Yes.
One has to seriously consider, how did he know that? Now, I'm not making any statement here confirming there is a creator. I'm saying, look, just like you said, we want to start from a position of uncertainty.
Yes.
I'm saying, well, here is something very certain which no one can deny, that alcohol is one of the major causes of destruction in society today. In fact, as one Muslim scholar noted, he said, you know what, it is strange.
Yes.
Alcoholism has been
Yes.
declared as a disease.
Yes.
Yes? He says it must be the only disease that is sold in a bottle.
Understand? I'm allowed to come back.
Of course you are.
I'll give you another example of another thing which is causing immense harm into the world today. Certainty.
Give me an
Certainty.
example, sir.
Well, for example, certainty
Yeah.
of the new atheistic kind, which I loathe. and
Oh yeah, yeah.
Testing.
Yes. You had a bit of a thing with this fellow called Stop Spamming, I
Ah,
noted. Yes,
That's
okay.
Very much so on the
Yes,
same lines.
yes, I understand.
But certainty of the primacy of logic over passion,
Yes.
of reason over emotion,
Yeah, yeah, I understand.
of science over everything
Yes.
in some circles.
Yeah, of course.
Which are talking on last
Yeah.
time. At the end of faith, as Mr. Lovely
Yeah.
Frank Harris.
Yeah,
is it?
yeah. Richard Harris. No, what's his name?
Frank Harris, I think.
No. Yeah, I know who you're talking about
Yes,
anyway. Yes.
Yes, the end of faith.
Yeah.
That is a very because the new atheist position is a very closed position.
Yeah.
It does not allow of any form of evidence to be used disprove it.
Yeah,
It doesn't allow of any.
it's Sam Harris.
Sam Harris.
Yes,
Thank you.
Richard Harris is an actor.
Ah, thank
Sorry,
you.
Sam Harris. Yeah,
So Sam Harris.
yeah,
So that's looking out of any form of inquiry
yes,
into matters of God, any form of progression inquiry into
I agree.
theology
yeah.
is a certainty which prevents any form of inquiry.
I agree with you.
That's completely
No,
healthy.
in that respect, you know what? I entirely agree with you. But here is the distinction that I made earlier on. Amazingly, the Muslim, yes, and I'm talking for my position here as a Muslim. The Muslim is continually told to make inquiries about everything.
Yes.
Yes, he is directed towards study.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Sure.
there are many, unfortunately, and I'm more than willing to say this. There are many people on the face of this earth who may have a belief system, yeah, who consider any kind of scientific information to be alien. Yes,
Yes.
which is very strange. Okay,
Creationists and
whoever, yes, it's very strange. No, you don't look at it that way. Let's look at the evidence for what it is
Yeah.
and make its assessment,
yeah.
then come to a determination about it. Now, when you talk about this New Age atheism,
Yes.
you know, whenever I'm discussing on videos in the posts, I'm always making the contention that atheism is an advanced form of ignorance and delusion.
Yes.
That's the contention I make.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, this is strange. I am supposed to be the believer,
Yeah.
and I'm the one who is asking for evidence.
Yeah.
Yet, the new atheist will turn and say, "No, you only believe in faith." I'm telling them, "Excuse me, I don't subscribe to faith."
Yeah.
No, you've got faith. Excuse me, no, I'm asking for evidence, objective evidence. Let's consider evidence. It seems like, you know, I'm from planet Zod or somewhere.
Yes.
Okay, there is not the situation. Islam and the Quran, I'm sure, as you have read and you'll continue to read, is continually asking the believer
Yeah.
to seek
Yeah.
knowledge,
Yeah.
to confirm things.
Yeah.
Why are we going to want to confirm things? Yes, we will have our own reasons. As you said, we can start from an altruistic position or for selfish reasons. It can be one of many things.
I say you can't really start from selfish positions. That's not
It's not a valid position to be.
not a valid position to start
Agreed.
because it prevents learning.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
But now,
very weak.
absolutely, I agree with you. But here is what I would suggest also, Bruce. Now, you see, you have got to 33%.
Yeah.
Get a bit further.
Yeah.
Then what we can do,
Yeah.
God willing, in our next meeting, we can start looking at the evidence. Yeah.
Okay.
At this moment, we've just generally
Okay.
spoken.
Fine,
Yeah.
okay.
But we will do that.
Okay.
Like I said, when I started off with the tree,
Yeah.
that was the nearest thing that I could see from where we were discussing.
yes.
So I used it
Very
as
beautiful
an
trees,
example.
that's fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what? There are some trees in America that are, I don't know how many years old,
Yes,
over 1,000 or
very
whatever
ancient,
year.
very ancient.
Very ancient trees. They are actually called ancient trees.
Yeah.
Yeah. I look at them and I think, you know what? It's an amazing wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we haven't even got to the molecular level yet, nor have we got to the macro level. But it's there.
Yeah.
As a Muslim, I am told, go out and do it. You know, I was just telling a brother just now as we are coming, we are looking at an aircraft
Yeah.
ascending.
Yeah.
And I was telling him, I said, you know what, I'm always in awe
Yeah.
when I look at an aircraft
yes,
going.
yes.
It's amazing.
Yes.
He says, yeah, there are 200-300 people in there. I
Yes.
said, yes. I said, but you know what, the amazing thing is, it was the manipulation of what is around us.
Yes.
Yes? I said, if you really want to find out a lot about what you call technology,
Yes.
dig deeply into the natural world.
Yes. Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
And you will find, for example, you know, the jet engine, which was invented only a few years back
Yes, yes.
in geological time.
Yes,
Yes?
yes.
You will find that there are animals, even in the sea, which use the same
Yes.
principles.
Yes.
Yeah? You have
written, yes.
absolutely, yeah. You have got so many things which we think are brilliant inventions. Nature had already got there first.
Yes, yes,
what
yes.
we call nature. Okay. So, as Muslims, we are highly encouraged to continue doing this,
I certainly agree. Yes.
and there is no way it can stop. And as you said rightly, you see, when you look at the words altruism, you look at words kindness, mercy.
Yeah.
These are words that we have included into our dictionary for them to have a certain kind of meaning.
Yes.
Now, we as Muslims will always say, look, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was told, was actually, the appellation was given to him of being the mercy to humanity.
Yes.
Now, I look at that, people have got this odd understanding of the word religion, and they apply it to all and sundry. I'm always saying I would not say that, because Islam is a system, it's a complete system.
Yes.
And when we say that, it's not just verbal, in practical terms it can be established. Okay?
Yes, yes.
So when I am looking at that, I am saying to people, I said, look, knowledge is the key for anything. Knowledge is the key. And as you said, I would have no problem with starting from a position of uncertainty,
Yeah.
but it is with a reason to establish something. Yeah?
It's really certainty.
Yeah. Now, I say that when I look just as at that little example of alcohol that I gave, yes? No one can stand here and logically, reasonably, rationally
Yeah.
tell
Otherwise,
me,
yeah.
tell me that that is not in the Quran. It is there.
Yeah.
Question is, if it is there, and today we are actually establishing its veracity, at least take that into consideration and try and view it for what it is,
Yes.
rather than just dismiss. As you rightly said, new atheism is a very odd belief system.
It's a non-belief system.
Call it what you want, but it's an
it's a
odd.
closure.
Exactly.
you
They are actually, and it's not fair to bandy the word across all of them, but they sincerely are blind completely. They have a complete faith in something that is not there. Get it? I like that. It's a bit like what is said. Yeah, but it is.
They have non-faith-
I have not come
they have a
across,
non-faith in
sincerely,
non-faith,
the
yeah.
majority of the, call them neo-atheists, that you discuss,
indication.
yeah, that I discuss with, they cannot muster up 3 sentences without using expletives.
Oh dear.
And one wants to know, excuse me, what's going on here? Are you not capable of having a rational, reasonable discussion? Are you just terrified so much of
No.
it? Believer?
Well, again, I would say that's
Thankfully,
that's
you are not
part
like
of
that.
The modern curse of certainty.
No, I agree with you. But can you see how, when used in its proper context, there's nothing wrong with it. When you misuse it, you then get a problem.
Well, I'd say certainty is always dangerous, just as alcohol has
Just-
some benefits, some disbenefits.
Yes.
Certainty has.
Some benefit and some
so
disbenefit,
remember
which
that-
I can agree
yeah.
with. But this is what I mean, Bruce. You see, hopefully
Yeah.
you will be reading it a bit further,
Yeah.
and the next time we meet up, we can actually deal with the details. Yeah.
Okay. Well, can I just ask you, are the
Yeah, yeah,
details of your evidence along the lines of
You are free to choose whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Whatever evidence you think we ought to consider, you have total freedom to do that. Yeah. Like I said, I've always taken the position where I am not going to say anything.
Right.
I want the evidence to speak for
What I
itself.
what I tend to do is always stick to one line of disproof,
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
is going to be that the conclusion is always in the premise.
Okay.
So that-
We'll work on that. Yeah, not a
Giving you a top 3,
yeah.
foggiest knockdown.
No problem, no problem.
the six.
Absolutely. Like I said, Bruce, totally free for you. You can choose whatever you want. Yes, from the Quran. I will have no issue, and we will deal with them. Yes, but as I said, I'm so glad that you have at least got to 33%. You've only got another 66.66.
Well, it's 66%.
Another
angry
66.
times.
Yeah.
Trying to reconcile myself
Yeah.
with what's going on.
Yeah. No.
Okay,
It is
But
difficult. I understand.
I very definitely do
Yeah.
feel I'm going to be an atheist, not a Muslim, because
I can guarantee you, and we are on record here,
Yeah.
I can guarantee you that if you continue on this line of uncertainty, you will arrive at certainty.
I think so.
I don't think so, I know so. Because you are
With certainty.
because you are a rational, reasonable human being
Yeah.
who is being sincere about what you stand for.
Yeah.
Okay? And those are the people who will always arrive at their destination. Now, I'm not suggesting otherwise for any other human being. I'm merely talking about you. I can guarantee you that if you carry on this road, you will arrive at that certainty. What that certainty is, you only will know.
Okay.
I'm not going to say, no, Bruce, you won't. I know that if you seek the necessary knowledge, you will arrive at the right answer. Guaranteed.
Okay, well, thank you
That's
very
certain.
much for that.
A pleasure, Bruce.
Lovely
Nice seeing you
to meet
again. Yeah?
Despite all the rain.
No, it was good. But Bruce, you know what we do? Next time we are here, obviously we'll enter into discussion. But I'm formally inviting you down to Lancashire and Blackburn.
Blackburn?
Yes? By all means, come down.
Okay.
We shall have we'll go out to eat, won't we?
We'll take him for a meal.
Yes, we'll go out for a meal, Bruce,
Okay.
definitely.
There may
That's an
be
invitation.
a specific reason to do that, so I'll
And,
certainly consider
and
that.
purely altruistic.
Absolutely.
No other reason. Only for that.
No hidden agendas.
Absolutely not. No, we never believe in hidden agendas. Never.
Very good. Thank
No.
you very much, and
Yeah,
Have
excellent.
a wonderful time
God-
today. Thank you very
Excellent.
much.
God bless
And,
Bruce.
and,
Okay. Look after yourself. And hopefully, we'll put up the video again to let you know when we are here. It should be hopefully 4 weeks.
Okay.
Okay, Bruce?
Bye now.
God bless. Look after yourself.
Longest.
Assalamu alaikum.